This one here, Jason Meikle. That was terrible. What a shambles we're in. No CEO, no director of football, no director of academy, an interim chairman who isn't very inspiring, and a manager. Oh, sorry. And sorry, a couple of wee technical details here. My fault. And a manager who can't change a game. Sorry, Phil, but it's game over. Only issue is who will actually sack him and get a new manager in.
That's a huge problem.
Aye.
I mean, you make light of it all you want, but there's nobody there to make the decisions.
Aye.
And so Clement might be kind of surviving by default for the time being. That can't be expected to go on indefinitely. And the supporters, they're actually, by going to the bother of taking banners down to Rugby Park and all that shows where they're at right now. And they are one more defeat away from demanding change.
Well, that would be, sorry Dan,
No.
I would imagine that would be a week on. Should Aberdeen take care of Dundee United this weekend and then beat Rangers, they're 9 points ahead of them.
Yeah.
That would surely be the end.
Even a drop at Audrey, now you're sort of looking at it and going...
No, it's not good. It's not enough.
It's not good
I mean,
enough,
the thing is, and Andy's right, and Clement will argue, and Clement supporters will argue that, he's not been dealt much of a hand. There has been the turmoil, the Michael Beale makeover that was a disaster. And he's having to pick up the pieces from all of that. I get it. But he is a manager, he's a coach. And 1 year into the job, there has to be signs. You have to, even if he doesn't have the greatest players at his disposal, there should be a sort of a platform laid down by now, this is what Rangers will look like.
Yeah.
They can improve the quality within that system, but this is the blueprint for what he's trying to achieve. Swanee, there is no blueprint. I look at Rangers and I just don't see what it is that they're actually trying to achieve.
Well,
it's the individuals within the system that he's hoping one of them does something that wins a game. But there seems to be no real joined up tactical philosophy.
And that's what I touched on earlier, and the fact that he had a system, if you like, and he wasn't prepared to break it today, no matter what was going on. So that's almost as worrying as anything else, I would have thought. It's, you use the word identity, but, and system is maybe different from that, but there just seemed to be no idea on how to change it.
And as you say, Keith, Hugh DL here on Facebook saying 1 year in and we're going backwards. It's not even that there's not much progress. They do look...
Oh yeah, they're in regression.
They look worse Rangers than they previously were.
They're a team in regression, there's no doubt about it, and I've been saying that for a number of weeks now.
I mean, I've got a plethora of these comments on Philippe Clement. Let me just get through a couple more.
Save some, it's a long week.
Let me have a look. Stephen Kilpatrick, we are absolute dross and will finish fourth. James Cooper, long balls caused us problems all game and a bad decision by Butland not sticking to his line. And Andy Cairns, embarrassing from a group of so-called men representing our club. No heart, no idea what it means to pull on our colours. Bunch of fairies that collapse at the first sign of pressure. And I get, guys, that we've mentioned Clement's contract. We've even mentioned the fact that there might not even be anyone to sack him. But as you say, Keith, if this gets much worse, it will get to a point where fans are demanding action, and there's no way out of it.
I think they're pretty close. I think a lot of them are still cutting the manager a bit of slack because they can see that the club's been badly run from the top for a long time now, and maybe they're prepared to cut Clement slack, and that he's just the guy that's having it fronting us up. What chance would he have? But I think there'll be another section of the Rangers support that will examining his role in this more closely and will be dissatisfied with what they're seeing, because there is nothing to see. There's nothing about Philippe Clement's side that you sit and you look and go, right, I see what he's trying to do. I see what direction he's trying to move, and if he can get a couple of better quality players into certain positions, you can see what his vision might look like. There is no vision. It's blurred. In fact, watching that today, it was eye-bleeding stuff. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
So bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
And I just don't know. I just don't know where he goes from here, or how he tries to kick on, because I would think that more and more, yes, there are fans that will point the finger of blame at the board, but more and more when you look at the poor quality of the performance level, that has to come back at the manager. There's nobody else responsible for that, just him.
Yeah. Well, on Live and X, Steve-O agrees with you, Swanee, saying Clement's pig-headed, hates being told how to improve his team, he's got his own vision and won't or doesn't take advice.
Do you know something, Daniel? If it is pig-headedness and stubbornness, that's almost better than not being able to see it.
Aye, true, aye, that's a good point.
You know, if you see it, but no, this is the way I'm going to play it.
If he's
That's
just
almost
married
a
to-
better bet than you're looking at that and thinking that's going okay today.
But I don't...
But what is his
What
way
is
of
I
playing?
know it's just like a straight 4-2-3-1, relying on big moments from players.
That's exactly it.
Aye.
If an individual stands up within that system and does something that changes the game, then great. But what is actually the team? What's the functionality of this team? What's it trying to achieve?
Because you look back to recently, the Hibs game at home, I thought Rangers were really poor that day.
Yeah,
Brilliant goal
more
from
of the same,
Lawrence.
yeah.
Czerny against Johnston, they weren't great.
Exactly.
Kilmarnock have a rigid system, and we know the two front players and the two wide guys, and it does leave a lot of work for the two lads in the middle of the park to do. Rangers didn't need an extra body in there. They could have shoved one forward.
Aye.
You know, they could have had a go, and you know, whatever the personnel is, you just try and get another person up front, try and get two up. Just try something.
Aye.
Just try something. And that was a day where it could have been done, and it just didn't happen.
He very rarely makes a game-changing substitution
No.
either. In fact, sometimes it's really hard to understand
Aye.
what the substitution is.
What the thinking is, aye.
Yeah, and what's based upon. When sometimes they're needing a goal, they put some defensive midfield player. You kind of look and going, are we even watching the same game here?
Aye.
So, you know, Andy says, where do Rangers go next? Well, there was a guy standing in the dugout next to Philippe Clement today that continually pulls off results like this.
I was going to say, before we move on from this, we need to talk about Killie briefly, because they were brilliant today.
And they were superb.
I mean, even I think if it finished 0-0, it wouldn't have done Killie justice. I mean, particularly in the first half, by far the better team. Obviously, Robbie Davis had the goal chopped off, but aside from that, they created 2 or 3 really good chances, and I think they thoroughly deserved the win.
And you go back to Keith's point about, and the word that we use quite a lot is identity. And you know what you're going to get from Derek McInnes's Kilmarnock. You know how they're going to be set up. They don't make any apologies for it, and nor should they, because they're labelled this sort of direct team, and you know it's not pretty to watch and such like that. But the footballers, you know, Armstrong and Kennedy are great technical footballers,
Aye.
and they just get it to them quickly.
Aye.
And they've got 2 wide guys, and they get it out of their feet and they deliver it. But then, if they're under pressure, Matty Kennedy can ball carry, Danny Armstrong can ball carry. But you know what you're going to get. And we talked about it at the start of the season. It's very difficult for clubs to try and juggle Europe, and it was always going to be a tricky situation for Kilmarnock. But you knew that Derek McInnes was going to sort it out. It wasn't going to be a problem when all the games calmed down and they got sort of into their groove and into their routine.
He's
and
proven.
got everyone back.
And that's
you
why-
knew it was coming, and that's why the Kilmarnock fans were all calm at the
Aye.
start of the season.
And that's the difference in it this morning, because you look at the reaction at Hearts when Naismith was down at the bottom of the table. Now, Naismith's results and Derek McInnes' results were actually really, really similar.
Aye.
There's a point between
Point
them.
in it, aye.
But at no point was there any suggestion that Billy Bowie might be getting an itchy trigger
No.
for Derek McInnes. He knew, he just relaxed. He knows fine well this guy's got it. And now here they are, levelling points with Dundee in 6th place, knocking on the door of the top 6, which is probably where they'll end up again this season.
You'd have
He
thought
just
so.
continues to perform. So if Rangers are looking for an answer, if they don't know where to turn to, well, there's a guy that just keeps doing it. I get the feeling that, you know, that the Hearts fans didn't seem too excited about Derek McInnes when he was named as a potential replacement for Stephen Naismith, and I dare say the Rangers fans won't be overly excited about the idea of Derek McInnes for Rangers. But I wonder why. I just don't. I struggle to understand it. You know, unless you come from a coffee shop in Reykjavik, you're no use anymore. Derek McInnes just he continually overachieves. And I struggle to see how any Rangers fan could look at what they've got just now and think that he wouldn't improve it.